Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rayge, and we are back today once again with our gold and training materials update as of October. Now that the month of October has wrapped up, and typically what we've done, if you guys have not catch my past videos, is that we do a full gold analysis in terms of the gold income that we've earned for the month of October, as well as compare that back to the basically the remainder and the majority of 2024, right? And this all really started from, when we started seeing that there is going to be some significant gold income changes coming. I wanted to start tracking it personally, dating all the way back actually to November and December 2023. So this was the OG method in terms of just documenting what the inflow of income was, as well as the spending, right? So you can see on the left here, we have the November 30th gold balance being 4.5 million. It went all the way up to 45.7. We also documented things that, were resulting from a timing difference, such as a war reward getting paid out. And then we also need to add back what the daily spending in gold would have been for the golden opportunity. This is actually my way of tracking. Back then, anyways, almost a year ago, we were only spending about 2.77 million gold per day, as we were trying to conserve resources. And I think last year there wasn't a lot of activity happening in November, December. So we did not need to spend that much gold. There was no teams to invest in and so forth. So as a result, guys, this is basically a snapshot, right? That month from November to December, we earned about 137 million in gold, and then as well detailing the gold spending for that month, which would have been 83, coming directly from actually just the daily milestones. So that in a nutshell is how I tracked it. But, as you can see, doing this for every single month takes up way too much time. So what we've started doing in the new year is actually consolidating this activity into quarters, as well as assessing overall. You can start seeing some trends, right? So, let me show you now where we kind of have landed in terms of the previous quarters here. So this is Q1, January to March. We were still actually doing really close to the 2.7 million gold per day that I've documented here. But you can see our average gold income coming in was around 150 million, while average spending was about 130. So each month we were actually clearing and saving essentially, anywhere from 30 million to 23 to 28. And there were events that I wanted to document as well in terms of how this uptick came, right? There was a sword satellite. The release of Dark Dimension 7 in March increased the actual monthly spending. So that's why you see that sizable increase there from the February month to March. And then lastly, we also had the new Incursion 2.3 raids getting released, which meant that obviously more investment teams were required, ramping up the gold. But overall, this was still very sustainable. 150 million gold per month average earning versus the spending, which means you could actually have savings each month. Now, keep in mind, this is where things started to change quite a bit, and we weren't really expecting the gold income to actually keep up like this. But sure enough, the gold economy has actually strengthened and actually gotten better and better as a result of changes in the game, events, and so forth, right? So this is quarter 2, April all the way to June. And we've actually ramped up our daily spending now to 6 million gold or more, if you do the math, right? Average gold actually increased from the previous quarter to 175 million gold per month now. And then also our average spending actually went up, because now we were actually maximizing using gold to actually purchase Crimson gear in preparation for Dark Dimension 7 and Mephisto. We also had some key events that resulted from these 3 months as well, being Escape from Kiln. We had the Logan Trials being released, and we also had those Merc for Money milestone blitz events where you were just getting a lot more gold. So you can see April and May wasn't so hot, close to that 150 million mark, but then boom, June came, and this was historic. This was the first time that we've earned over 200 million gold in a single month ever in the game. So that's when I really wanted to start paying attention to the details, because at this point, the gold actually caught up to the spending, right? Even though we ramped up our spending quite a bit in the month of June, our gold income was able to match that and go above, so we were still able to save. So April and May, I feel like, I think the developers, Marvel Strike Force, was still deciding on how much they wanted to release, but I was going ahead with my spending because I wanted to prep for Dark Dimension 7. And then, just like that, some revisions, some key events getting released. And this does seem to be a very consistent basis now, too. Because now if we pivot over here to quarter 3, being July to September, you can see we've once again hit some historical strides actually on the monthly and expenditures, too. So keep in mind, some of the key events for these 3 months included Dark Dimension 7 progression, Dark Dimension 8 actually got released in September, I built up my Annihilators team the moment they were released. This is very rare for me to do, but because of them being part of the arena meta, I wanted to get them in there ASAP so they can generate power cores, and that way I can actually hoard another resource that's important in the game. We also had the release of Shattered Dimension with that bug where folks like myself, we could repeat the event over and over, and I think I must have generated like 15-20 million gold plus from that event. And then once again too, we also had Escape from Kiln returning. So overall, historical quarter. Our average gold, last quarter was 175, and it ramped up all the way to 275. And the same could be said about my spending, because this July and August is basically when I did the majority of my investment into Dark Dimension 7. And then as well, the Annihilator characters being brought up to level 100, Gear Tier 19, all the way to the max. But what's been even more promising is the fact that everything's been leveled and scaled together. The expenses have matched the gold income, and that suggests to me that the economy is very, very strong right now, guys. So if you're always wondering how I've been able to save a lot of gold, well, the biggest thing is budget, right? Spend 6 million gold per day max. You can already calculate what that's going to be if there's 30 or 31 days, right? It's about 180 to 186 million. And we're generating, as you can see from this strong quarter, over 275. So that means even if you spent 180, you should be actually saving a net difference of 100 million gold, assuming you don't go over the spending. For myself, I was prepping for all these big things on the right. That's why I wanted to point that out for your attention. But yeah, super historic quarter here. And I'm very, very excited and interested to see if this trend is going to continue. Now we can finally talk about October 2024. So the first time in a row where we have not actually struck a historical record in gold. I actually dialed back a little bit, but I do want to point out the last month was inflated due to the fact that we could repeat that Shattered Dimension, and as well, obviously, some events not being repeatable again. So you can see for October, we ended off September balance with 189 million. And now we added back the 31 days where I did, like I said, that's my tracker, my golden opportunity, always spending 6 million gold per day minimum. That was 186 million. And then the additional gold actually went into Dark Dimension 8. And the fact that I unlocked Odin in this month and I poured everything into him, instantly bringing him up all the way to level 100 in Gear Tier 19. And as you can see from the screenshot, guys, we still ended the month here, October 31st, with almost 255 million gold, giving us the true earned gold income of 288 million. So still a very, very impressive number when you compare the 288 back to the previous quarter where July and August were right around that mark. It's just September, like I said, it's a little bit biased because we finished Dark Dimension 7 twice, right? And that gives you additional resources. Plus the completion of also Dark Dimension 8, I think between September and as well as October, that timing. So just something to be mindful of there. But overall, very good, guys. 288 million, close to 300 mil. We're on the right trend. There's only 2 months left in the year, and I have a feeling that this quarter is going to be just as strong as the previous, if not better. So where does that leave us? Once again, when we take a look at the future outlook, November 2024 is upcoming here, currently this month. Again, we saw quarter one generated averages of 150 million gold, ramping up to 175 average per month. Then quarter three came, historic quarter, jumping all the way up to 274 million gold per month. And then recently we have that October 288. So this is getting tracked. The trend is still continuing from what we see, and they keep releasing events that give us more opportunities for gold, especially when there's that mega gold orb chance of landing lucky on the 100 mil as well. So that's always going to be destined for at least one of us eventually. Just keep on opening those orbs. So guys, I just want to reiterate this as I have in my past videos each month, which is if you need to save more gold, spend 6 million, 7 million gold max per day, and that's going to give you a gold supply balance. That's how I've been able to save at least 250 million now in preparation for all the upcoming activities, including Battle World, Shadow King Legendary, and who knows what they have around the corner. My gold supply is ready to go, as many of my tunes are already fully maxed out from this budgeting and investment. Gold economy is super strong right now, so hopefully this continues. But that's the gold income update there. And as per usual, I always like to throw in this quick little detail in terms of how my training materials I've also been tracking, so that way you can get a sense. This unfortunately only did start recently during the midway of the year because it was just a suggestion, and I love the fact that we started tracking this now because we can see kind of what's happening with some of the investments made along the way. So dating back all the way to July, then we tracked it in August, September, and then finally obviously October here. You can actually see where my, L1, L2, L3, all the way to L4 mats have kind of trended, in addition to some of the key events, right? For example, August month is when I brought up my 3 Annihilator characters to level 100. September is when I completed Dark Dimension 7 twice, so obviously needing to bring up at least 10 characters to level 100. That's what was outstanding. And then finally, the completion of Dark Dimension 8, and then bringing up some raid teams, including my Orcus and Night Stalkers, to level 95 is kind of what I've been testing. But you can see the trend here overall, guys. And in the 4 months, the L1 being the green materials, it's slightly down a bit, because those are the ones I usually top up to hit that 6 million gold max threshold. You can see the blue and the purple L2, L3 trading mats respectively. They have only grown in the last 4 months. That's because these resources are the least used, as it's often the L4 and L1 that it gets defaulted, right? So although my my largest one being L4 has resulted in a downtrend from 7,845 in July all the way to 6,670 as of October, we're still up 22% in the last 4 months, which is roughly 5.5% training materials earned each month. Overall, guys, this is good. This is really good. It's not as good as gold, obviously, because we're getting some historical numbers of gold, but this tells me that along the way, increasing characters for Dark Dimension game modes, Arena, we got raids included here, but we're still actually resulting in an uptick in training materials. So right now, how I see it is that both training materials and gold is strong in the game, so as long as you're managing resources, which is the name of the game, guys. So hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully this is insightful and gives you guys a bit of strategy here on how to save. That's how I've been able to hoard and really put myself in a position where, Marvel Strike Force and Scopely could release a new team tomorrow, and I'd be ready to go if I want to invest in them. So there you guys have it. Thank you for your time. As always, this is the update for October 2024, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you.